The Red Sea continues to escalate as Yemeni Houthi rebels have released a video showing the bombing and sinking of the Liberian-flagged bulk carrier Magic Seas. The Houthis say the July 6 attack was a response to a violation of their unilateral ban on ships sailing through the Red Sea to Israeli ports. The ship was owned by a Greek company and, according to the rebels, ignored their warning. This is not the only incident in the region in recent days. Today, a new attack was reported. Another Greek cargo ship, Eternity Sea, also sailing under the Liberian flag, was attacked off the coast of the Yemeni city of Hodeida. According to available information, the Houthis again used naval drones, boats with fighters and rocket-propelled grenades. As a result of the attack, 2 crew members were seriously injured, 2 more are missing. The ship was seriously damaged. The superstructure and communication systems were damaged, and the bulk carrier began to drift. The Houthis, backed by Iran, have periodically attacked merchant ships since late 2023, claiming that this is putting pressure on Israel and its allies. In response, the Western coalition has repeatedly struck Houthi targets in Yemen, but this has not led to an end to the attacks. We haven't seen any real attacks on merchant shipping since December last year, said Wolf Christian Pais, a senior fellow at the International Institute for Strategic Studies. And they're back with a bang. The bulk carrier had been heading north toward the Suez Canal when it came under fire by men in small boats and by bomb-carrying drones Monday night. The security guards on board fired their weapons. The EU operation, Aspides, and the private security firm Ambre both reported those details. While the Houthis haven't claimed the attack, they can take days to claim one. Yemen's exiled government and the EU force blamed the rebels, as did the US State Department. These attacks demonstrate the ongoing threat that Iran-backed Houthi rebels pose to freedom of navigation and to the regional economic and maritime security, State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce said. The United States has been clear. We will continue to take necessary action to protect freedom of navigation and commercial shipping from Houthi terrorist attacks. The EU force offered the casualty information, saying one of the wounded crew lost his leg. The crew remains stuck on board the vessel, which is now drifting in the Red Sea. Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky summed up the results of the latest meeting of the Supreme Commander-in-Chief's headquarters. The focus was on the situation on the front lines as well as the actions of Ukrainian forces on the territory of the aggressor. The Ukrainian leader made the details public on his official Telegram channel. According to the head of state, the most tense sections of the front are currently in the Pokrovsk, Novopavlovsk and Orekhovsk directions. In addition, events in the Sumy region, where pressure from Russian troops continues, and Ukrainian operations in the border regions of Russia were considered separately. The occupiers will not feel calm there, Zelensky emphasized, commenting on the situation in Belgorod and Kursk regions. This statement clearly indicates that Ukraine is aiming to continue the pressure tactics along the entire perimeter of the border. Special attention at the headquarters was paid to drones. According to the president, Ukraine should significantly increase the use of drones of all types, both reconnaissance and strike. It is drones that allow us to effectively contain the offensive actions of Russian troops and support Ukrainian assaults. I am grateful to everyone who is developing this area and offering technological solutions, Zelensky noted. He added that the Ukrainian army will increasingly use drones on the front lines. Another key issue is the protection of the Ukrainian sky. The president called the topic of air defense a priority. This concerns both the supply of new air defense systems and missiles for them, and the development of drone air defense systems for intercepting enemy drones. According to him, the Ukrainian side is preparing new agreements with foreign partners, which should be formalized in the coming weeks. This concerns not only military assistance, but also industrial cooperation. Zelensky noted that the government is already gradually eliminating the lack of funding in the production of drones and interceptors, forming stable orders for Ukrainian enterprises. Thus, Ukraine continues to build up its defense potential and is actively looking for ways to put pressure on Russia both on the front line and beyond. One of the famous Russian Z patriots, the former so-called People's Governor of Donbass, Pavel Gubarev, unexpectedly shared the truth, which in Russia they prefer to keep silent. The Russian Federation is suffering colossal losses in the aggression against Ukraine. He published a post about this on his Telegram channel. Gubarev spoke about a conversation with an occupier from the 810th Russian Marine Brigade whom he met while walking around annexed Sevastopol. The soldier told him the not very pleasant truth about the losses. 440 people entered Kharkiv, 200 left. 500 people entered Kursk, 40 left. Gubarev quoted the military man as saying, thus, in one of the episodes of the war, namely in the battles in Kursk, losses amounted to more than 90% of personnel, which is unprecedented even for modern Russian history. The Ukrainian side has repeatedly pointed out the monstrous scale of the Russian Federation's losses, which, according to the latest estimates of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, exceeded 1 million irretrievable losses over 3 years of a full-scale war. For comparison, over the entire decade of the war in Afghanistan, the Soviet Union lost about 15,000 people. Even the Chechen campaigns did not come close to such figures. Such an admission from an active supporter of the war is an important signal. It confirms that even in the loyal environment, they are aware of the catastrophe that is unfolding at the front. People who were recently inspired by the slogans "For the Motherland" now see how the command is throwing them into battle without meaning and without a chance of survival. Recall Russian losses in Ukraine hit a massive and grim milestone on June the 12th. 1 million Russian soldiers killed or wounded during the 39-month-long full-scale war. According to figures from Kiev, although hugely symbolic, the number is unlikely to prompt a change in tactics from Moscow as it gears up for more offensives this summer and escalates drone and missile attacks on Ukrainian civilians. But behind the figure lies an economic time bomb that the Kremlin will find impossible to ignore. Russian President Vladimir Putin made a fundamental strategic mistake in deciding how to resource this war. George Barros, Russian team lead at the Institute for the Study of War, told, "What Vladimir Putin has done is he has created a system in which he doesn't use the monopoly of violence of the Russian state to coerce Russians to go fight and die in Ukraine, as the Soviet Union might have. What Putin has done is he's created an alternative social contract where he pays you to go fight in Ukraine. That strategy can work if you're planning on running a short war. It does not work if you are running a multi-year, protracted war," he added.